Hello everybody, welcome back to Storytime with Dan here on Storytellerarts. If you're new here, I hope you'll enjoy what you find, and if you do like it, please consider giving me a thumbs up or subscribe down below. Come back and visit me again. If you hit the little bell notification, it'll let you know when I upload a new story. I'm going to be uploading at least once a week, maybe twice if I can do it. But this channel is all about my little short stories. I have written a book, and I actually have two that are published right now. And I've had a lot of questions about why I wrote what I wrote, and so I thought that in order to help get my work out there a little bit more to answer some of those questions, then I would go ahead and start a YouTube channel. So the poem I'm going to read today, the short story, it's called Percieve, and this is the reason that I even published this book. I had put this on Pinterest, and I had a comment from a gentleman who said he really loved it. Wanted to know if it was in a book. He said, if this is in a book, I sure would buy it. And at the time, it wasn't. And I told him, I said, unfortunately, it's not in a book. But that really got the wheels turning in my head. And so that was the day that I figured out how to get this in a book. And so this book, Conquering Depression, A Poetic Perception, it's a collaboration of a lot of my earlier poems. Most of them are self-help, to help lift you up when you're down or depressed, obviously. But some of them are a little bit more towards fun. Now this one is called Perceive, and this picture is the reason that I wrote this poem. I seen this leopard sitting up on a rock, and this is what I thought when I looked at that picture. It's called Perceive. High atop a mountain peak, I sit alone, I do not speak, looking out across the land at too much grief to understand. Confusion, chaos, silent rage, madness, hatred fill the stage. If I were God, what would I say to see my children act this way? They argue, fight, connive and steal, torture, maim, some rape, some kill. The human race, the greatest gift, our Mother Earth, the hardest hit. For creatures here who share this place, it's way too much to contemplate. A teardrop falls upon my cheek, for I'm the one they call a beast. So that's what I thought when I seen that picture. And inspiration hits me in many, many different ways. Sometimes it's a movie, sometimes it's a photograph, sometimes it's a conversation, and sometimes it's just a feeling that I wake up and it's on my heart or in my mind. And so in this book, there are so many different stories, and a lot of them have a backstory. Some of them don't. Some of them, I've got one called Bully. It's just about the topic, and there's some topics in here that I touch on that I think that the world needs to address, such as bullies, child abuse, drunk driving, things of that nature. And so each episode, if you come back and visit me, there's going to be a different story poem, different message, and different interpretations. You can let me know down in the comments what you think about them, or if you have any questions, or maybe you have an inspiration for a poem or a story that you would like for me to touch on. I'm still writing, I'm still thinking, and so sometimes I get writer's block and I don't know what to write, but sometimes it just hits me. And then there's other times when I get a thought in my head and it'll stay there for months, a month or two even, and it'll build and I'll build on it. And sometimes I'll be driving down the road and I'll have this phrase pop into my head, and so I'll use my video recorder or my audio recorder, and I'll record it so that I can come back to it later and I won't forget, because I used to not do that and I would forget. And it would just make me so mad because I'd have a really good verse in my head and I'd be like, oh, I got to use that. And then when I get home, I can't remember what it was. So I started video or audio recording myself now, and just real quick, I'll just say what it was and then I'll come back to it and then I'll jot it down on paper. But sometimes it starts off with a title. Sometimes it'll start off with a phrase, or it'll be a verse. And like I said, there's been many different inspirations, and particularly for that one, it was the picture. I seen that photograph on Percieve, which is a website you can go to for free stock photos. You can use them for whatever you want. And when I looked at that and studied it, that's what I seen is, here on this earth, we call these animals beasts, but then really in actuality, we're the worst beasts on the planet. I mean, we might be the greatest gift on earth, but also we cause the most destruction. We kill each other way more than any animals, I think. And so that's what I thought when I wrote that, and it seems to be one of my more popular pieces on Pinterest and on Instagram and on Facebook, when I post these pictures, a lot of them will get thumbs ups or whatever, or comments or compliments, and that one seems to get quite a few. And I don't know if it's because it's a leopard or because it's a common feeling that people share. But I'm hoping that by writing and getting these things out there, we can help change the future, a little at a time. That's all it takes. Just more positivity in the world is always a good thing. So anyway, my name's Dan. This is Storyteller Arts. If you enjoyed this content, please give me a thumbs up. That'll help me reach new people. And by all means, I really would appreciate it if you subscribe and come back and visit me again. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great day.